welcome back to Real Shame. It's a show where we talk about our list of movie blind spots, and because it's October, all this month is just horror, horror, horror. Horror films coming at you from the left, horror films coming at you from the right, from the top, from the bottom, from another dimension, whatever. They're coming from every which way but loose, as Clint Eastwood might say. This week we're doing some new French Extremity films. Extreme French films. Extreme horror for you. On Monday, we talked about a film called Them, and no, it wasn't the giant ant movie. It's a movie from 2006.
Doesn't have David Arquette in it.
It doesn't have David Arquette. And today we're going to talk about another, as I said, new French Extremity film. So Adam's going to tell us all about what that film is. And I'm Andy. I don't think I said that. Adam Andy. There you go.
All right. 4 months after the death of her husband, a woman on the brink of motherhood is tormented in her home by a strange woman who wants her unborn baby in La Intérieur.
S'il vous plaît, j'en ai pour 2 minutes. J'ai pas envie de rester toute seule dehors.
Je vous l'ai déjà dit, mon mari dort.
Ton mari dort pas, Sarah. Il est mort.
Quoi?
Ouvre-moi, Sarah.
Vous êtes qui? Comment vous savez mon nom?
Ouvre cette porte et tu verras.
All right. Hopefully that was close enough. La Intérieur, or The Inside, is a movie written and directed by
Alexandre
Bustillo. I want to say it's Spanish style.
Yeah, I think it's Bustillo.
Bustillo and Julian Maury.
Maury Povich.
Those two directing and writing duo also did another Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake that I think you've seen, Leatherface in 2007. Not good. And I say that because last week there was a directing pair that did the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the new one.
Right, yeah.
They also did a movie called Livid, or Livid with the D if you're watching it, or with an E, sorry, at the end if you're watching in French, and The Deep House, which is a new movie I haven't seen, but that's that couple. It stars a bunch of, forgive me for my pronunciation, in case you can't tell, I'm not good with pronunciations, whether they're English or which is my native language or another language, but we have Alison Paris as Sarah, Jean-Baptiste Tabrun as Matthew, Claude Louet as these are all French
Le
words.
Menacing, just a doctor.
The doctor, Dominique Frot as
L'infirmière, she's the nurse.
The nurse. Natalie Rothschild as Louise, Francois Regis Marchand as Jean-Pierre, and Beatrice Daly as La Femme. I got that one.
She's not named. Yeah, she's just the woman.
She might be Rosemary.
Yep.
This is a movie I've never heard of before, never seen before, didn't know nothing getting into it. But since I talked about the movie, I'm going to toss it over to you. Where are you with this movie? Did you know anything about it? And what'd you think about it after watching it?
Yeah, I think all these movies, I've just seen a lot of like little clips and on lists, and this is disturbing and all this kind of thing. So I feel like I knew more about this movie than I probably should have going into it, which a lot of times is a bad thing. But in this case, it didn't really matter because this movie's freaking awesome. This movie is gory and sick and disgusting and bloody and over the top and crazy, and I love
over the top.
I love just about every minute of it. I mean, I had a blast watching this film because it's so crazy. I will say the CGI baby stuff looks god awful. That looks terrible. I could have done without that.
That's the only bad mark about this movie.
Yeah, it pretty much is.
Baby.
It pretty much is. That's the only negative remark I have in my notes, because other than that, the movie is just crazy. Like I was like, oh my god. So, I mean, the woman comes to her house. She wants the baby. She's determined to get the baby by any means necessary. And there's all kinds of gore and craziness.
This has some really cool, scenes of gore and violence. And it feels imaginative, stuff I haven't seen before. Like the part with okay, so obviously we spoil the movie, but the part with the shears, like the big. I mean, or it seems like her weapon du jour is like giant sheer fabric scissors and like sticking it in her navel and stuff. Oh, so cool, so graphic, so over the top.
Yeah, yeah. If you have a weak stomach, absolutely do not watch this film. It's extremely sick and disgusting and bloody. But if you're a gorehound like me, and I think you, we're totally into it. But yeah, no. I mean, I like it. I really can't say anything more than that. I just thought it's crazy and insane, and I would definitely watch this again. Did you feel the same way?
Yeah, I mean, I think I kind of spoiled it a little bit when you were talking about how you felt about it. I'm with you. I think this movie's over the top and gory in all the right ways.
Yeah.
It kind of just gets going and stuff like that. And it's just crazy. I think, people are just getting dispatched right and left. Like, she kills her own mom, which is crazy.
That's crazy,
like,
yes.
It's just like, and she's like, and sometimes you're just like, man, how much damage can she take as like a person and still keep on going and stuff like that? Because, I think like on the first thing that happens to her, she is like cut across the face and all that kind of stuff.
It is.
And it's just like the whole time is just like violence on violence on violence, and it's crazy and over the top. But that's where it is a whole lot of fun and just like a whole lot of craziness and all that kind of stuff. So, and it gets into it really fast. Like there's you get like the car accident at the beginning to kind of establish things and pay attention because that's going to come back around in the end kind of stuff. And then you get like the quiet parts in the hospital and stuff like that. But then once she gets back to the house, it's you're into this. It's crazy and stuff like that.
Yeah, it sets up everything it needs. I mean, arguably, you might not need the scene with her taking pictures in the park and meeting her boss or whatever, because you could get enough information from him coming to the house. But she takes a picture in that scene where she takes a picture of that lady.
Yes,
because later on she's like, "What the hell is this?" And it all kind of ties in. So it's all I don't want to say necessary, but it's not bad that they put it in there. But yeah, no, I mean, I feel like it in comparison to the last film, it gets going a lot quicker. And once it gets going, once the lady gets in the house,
it's just
and goes, it just goes crazy, and it's crazy in the best way. Like again, I don't think we can stress this enough. It's super gory, but it does have some very very cool setups and very cool scenes, and I mean, it's like, geez, what else is going to happen? What's going to happen next? Is she going to get away this time? Is she finally going to kill her this time? Is it whatever? But never in like an exhausting way. Yeah. Because again, I don't think this movie's that long, right? It's like an hour.
I think it's still under 80 minutes. Also.
Yeah, it's really short. Yeah. So it's like they get to it and they put you through the ringer as far as gore and everything, and then it's over. And it doesn't really have a happy ending.
No, I think this movie is awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
And you can watch it for Christmas time because it takes place on Christmas Eve. I mean, come on.
You can.
This
is my new go-to Christmas film.
Yeah, you just have to invite the family over.
Absolutely.
You unpack your Christmas pajamas and then you just watch this movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, this movie is just it's just so over the top, so cool. I really. Like I said, the only bad thing is the CGI baby.
Yeah.
And what it reminded me of is there was a Mortal Kombat game that came out. I think it was like Mortal Kombat X, where you could do like the bone breaking moves, and it would zoom in and do the X-ray bone breaking moves kind of stuff. And it felt like this movie was like, we're gonna do that. And so I feel like
they have like the babality thing, right?
Yeah. So you see like the baby like 5 times this movie, and it's like that's 5 times too much.
But luckily it's not overly, it's not that much. I mean, but it reminded me of like Ally McBeal dancing baby or something crappy like that.
I mean, it looked really bad.
It did.
It also didn't like CSI also have like a bunch of like enhanced or like stuff like that too. I feel like
probably.
So it might be of the era they thought it was cool, but
yeah,
I think if they're gonna re-release this movie, they can just do a director's cut and cut that stuff out. It doesn't really add anything to the movie. But it's just the violence is extreme. It's clever. It is over the top. It's not grating. It works. It's a well-tuned machine.
I'm very ecstatic that you're as excited about it as I am, because when I was watching it, I was like, this is badass. So I was hoping that you and what about Kirby?
I think Kirby liked it too. I mean, there's like some parts where she had to cover her eyes and stuff like that, and it was too
because of some eye injuries,
some eye stuff. In fact, I don't think the eye stuff was as bad as she thought it was going to be, because I think it's like you don't really see it. You kind of like you see it like pull out, but you never see it like go in the eye.
You don't see it going in, right?
But I think like the stuff with like her, I think the part that made Kirby squirm the most was when she's like sticking, like, she sticks the edge of the scissors inside the navel, and you're like,
Oh yeah.
oh, stuff's going down. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that
Oh,
is
yeah.
just,
Punctures her.
that is the perfect amount of tension right there. And it's
Yeah.
just like, you just see it kind of just like insert into the belly button. That is perfect. That is
Yeah.
the best way to accentuate that kind of violence. Is just,
Well, and the one poor cop that he comes to the bathroom
Yeah.
and she blows his head off with his
Yeah.
gun and his head just explodes
Yes,
like
yes.
all over her,
Yeah.
basically. It's that kind of thing. I was like, mwah.
chef's kiss.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm super enthusiastic about this film, and I'm gonna tell everybody I know that loves horror films if they haven't seen this film to
Yeah.
watch it, because yeah, it's a keeper. It's a winner.
Yeah, it is for sure.
I'm a big fan.
All right. Well, we like this movie. Well, it looks like you have some other notes about it.
Well,
let's talk about
just
that.
one more before I get to the credits. Where I was going to say, both this movie and the movie we're going to talk about on Friday, as far as I know, Them, which you talked about on Monday, doesn't have a remake, but it might. I may have missed that. But this film has a remake. It was remade in 2016. The original film, the 2007 film that we just talked about, is 83% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, 75% audience. The remake is only 28%
Ooh.
fresh with a 22% audience score. And
Can't find that magic, sounds like.
oh yeah, they never can hardly. 6.7 out of 10 on IMDb, because Leonard Maltin wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole, I don't think. And the remake is only 4.7 out of 10.
All right.
So
yeah, it seems like the audience likes this movie a lot. If you haven't seen it, we spoiled it for you, but
yeah.
I think there's still some fun in it to watch and enjoy, even though.
But again, if
it's gonna
if you do not have a strong stomach, I wouldn't watch this.
Yeah,
It's
for sure.
pretty gory.
All right, so that's 2 down of the French Extreme movies. What are we doing on Friday for our 3rd French Extreme movie?
Yeah, so for our Friday film, I feel like the movie we're going to talk about on Friday is the movie that I've heard about the most.
Yes.
As far as general acclaim and everything else. So we decided neither one of us have seen it. We had to do it. It's a film about 2 young women who are basically kind of traumatized. And what's that all about? What's going on there? What's the source of their trauma? What's happening? But it's called Martyrs. We'll talk about that on Friday.
Stay tuned on Friday when we talk about Martyrs. Please like, subscribe, share, do all that social media stuff, and we'll see you soon, guys. Have a good one.